So, like, I know that you're sort of just, like, not into the whole fascism thing, but I'm just saying, like, just give it a try, you know?
I do look good in black and red. So.
I mean, it is very slimming. I'll give you that.
And the only way to wear those things is to become an out-and-out fascist. Deej, you haven't even mentioned this new piece of mill work behind me.
Well, I certainly noticed it, so I'm so sorry.
It's got drawers.
Is that chestnut?
And hey,
Is that chestnut?
Got doors as well. Got two things.
Drawers and doors?
I believe it's a walnut.
No, yeah, I don't.
People tell me these things.
I don't fuck with walnut.
How do I know it's a walnut? Somebody tells me.
We did make some, I guess, bruschetta-esque kind of dinners the other night. It was some thick bread, some herbed ricotta, and then we did roasted walnuts. And then some like bursting sizzled tomatoes.
Okay.
On top. It was de-fucking-licious.
I have a weird relationship with walnuts, but it sounds delicious.
They were very tinily chopped, which I think is the way to go.
That does help me. There's a little bit of like, when they're more chunked, I don't like them because they're kind of like a softer nut. And I'm like, what is this? And they have a taste. You know, like in James Bond movies where like he has like a glass of champagne and he like dips his finger in and tastes it and he's like, this has been poisoned. That's how I feel with walnuts. I'm like, I bet what he's tasting is walnuts.
Could be.
Because they taste like poison.
And they're a very prevalent ingredient in martinis.
It's true. Yes, can I have a candied walnut as my garnish on that?
Unrelatedly, I have never had a martini to drink in my life.
Have you seen one?
I know they got a lot of walnuts.
Opened your eyes on TV ever?
Would you introduce this show, please?
Yes. DJ, what I'm going to do, this is a meta episode, because this is
what we're going to
watch
podcast?
Is we're going to review the best episodes of this podcast, which will be a very short viewing. No, but this is related to our friendship.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if we've ever talked to listeners about our friendship, but this was an arranged friendship.
It was.
Our friends came together and said, you two would make the strongest union
you
and keep Europe from collapsing into war.
You two both never shut the fuck up. We got to get you together.
We've got to quarantine you in a small starter
desperately
home.
Need roommates.
So we didn't know each other. And I feel like we had three media tenets of our early friendship.
Okay.
One was Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, which I started playing.
Yeah.
And then these two down here are your two options for this episode. So even I, my friend, do not know what we're covering in this episode.
Okay.
One is a movie.
Yeah.
And one is a show.
Mm-hmm.
This movie is famous for a review I gave it and then immediately regretted giving it. Because you found it so hysterical.
I already know what that is. Okay, great.
And one is a show that probably we quoted more than any human. It's a reality show, our first reality show for the podcast.
What year?
Don't do this. It looks like I'm like trying to rub a taller man's nipples.
Stop doing Tune in Tokyo. First of all, I'm not sure if it's racist or not, and I don't want to look into it.
Tokyo has radios too, and they need to tune in.
Yeah. That's true.
That's not racist.
And you use nipples. That's just the way it is.
That's their choice, and I'm not here to judge them. It's a different culture.
I know when the movie came out, because I know what movie we're talking about. That was like early 2000s?
Yeah, that is early 2000s, because I think it is critical of Bush, at least the
What year is the... Oh, that sounds fun. What year is the TV show? That will
it does sound fun. It's great to talk about Bush, which I've been doing a lot recently in this Mideast war. That we are currently in. The show, hold on.
What I like doing is just kind of looking for countries that aren't currently attacking me, but could potentially at some point, because fuck that. And fair enough.
I'm pretty sure the threat was imminent. Once Israel bombed them, they would have bombed us, which means that we had to stop them. Not stop Israel from bombing them. No. Had to stop them from bombing us in retaliation for an attack.
Just take it. Just take it.
Hey, this show started in 2007.
Oh, late for the podcast.
One of our laters. And it ended, and it recently has restarted.
Okay. I know what this is. Okay. I know what both of these things are.
So just decide what you want to watch more than the other.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I don't think I need to watch the reality show at all. Because what you're talking about, and we're going to have to just
because it's the greatest form of TV.
We're just going to have to reveal what that is, even though I'm not going to pick it. I'm going to pick the movie.
Okay.
Which is, I think, V for Vendetta.
Yes. And what was my review of it?
Fucking awesome.
I was so
and all of a
powerful.
All of a sudden, your collars just popped, and your little chest hairs popped out, and your hat appeared on your head backwards. It was very strange because I was like, "Hey, Damon. Normally, I don't know if you guys know this as listeners of the podcast. Damon, normally pretty loquacious, not shy about sharing.
Not a 2-word review, one of which is an obscenity.
Multi-worded reviews of movies with very critical components to them. But his 2-word review of V for Vendetta was fucking awesome.
Fucking awesome.
Which I think we'll be the judge of that. Now, let's get to V for Vendetta, but I want to take maybe 1 minute and a half to talk about the other option.
90 seconds,
quick.
Go ahead.
Which I believe to be K-Nice.
That would be K-Nice,
okay,
yes.
Which is Kitchen Nightmares, television program starring Gordon Ramsay. It's not his most popular one. I think Hell's Kitchen is more popular, but we never were interested in that.
I don't know. Did Hell's Kitchen come back? Is Hell's Kitchen still on?
Exactly. Great question.
Fair enough.
No interest either way. Kitchen Nightmares, if you don't know, is where Gordon Ramsay goes into failing restaurants and helps them fail a little bit later. Generally speaking.
Through the power of yelling.
And it began as a UK series where he's very calmly going into restaurants being like, oh, let me help you cook some food a little bit better.
Oh, let's go through your menu and see the price points you're putting on these items.
To the US version where he's like, you fucking moron.
You French pig.
And it's incredible. I think we should watch it at one point. But again, we could just talk about it for an hour without having to rewatch it.
It's rotten.
It's rotten. We use that all the time. That's going to be fun, but
for us, not the listener.
No, they're gonna fucking hate it.
A lot of pop microphones.
Their 2-word review for that will be fucking terrible.
Okay, so have you seen V for Vendetta when I gave you my review?
I have seen it at some point. I don't think. Because we didn't see it together, because that's why you...
No, I had the DVD, and you held it up to me, which prompted my review. It's fucking awesome.
Was it a Netflix joint? Was this rented via the Doivadoy?
No. I think I owned it. I think I got it for cheapo, maybe at our local bookstore that I will not name, because it's currently been revealed that it's anti-union, so I'm not going to mention it.
Which one? Wait. Is anti-union?
Yeah.
Guys, don't.
It's like you guys want to live off the money we pay you to be here.
But you don't
40
want
hours
to.
a week.
Yeah.
But we got bills of our own.
Well, here's the
owner's
truth.
Salary and stuff.
Here's the God's honest truth. That store is 45 minutes away. I'm never fucking going there. So, whatever. It's too far. V for Vendetta. Guy Fawkes. We got Natalie Portman.
Okay. Oh yeah. Sorry, I thought you meant Guy Fawkes, the actual man.
Guy Fawkes. We got who is Mr. Anderson?
Hugo Weaving.
I can never ever remember his name.
If you were childhood friends with Samara Weaving, you would know him as Mr. Weaving. Hi, Mr. Weaving.
Hi, Mr. Weaving. I would love to take your daughter out. Oh, ow. Okay, never mind, sir.
What is he? It felt like he was poking you in the eye. What specifically is he doing to you in this scenario?
He turned into a lot of Hugo Weavings and attacked me.
Oh, yeah.
Kung fu fighting.
It does a sort of Transformers thing or a Voltron thing where he turns into a giant Hugo Weaving made of Hugo Weavings.
Yes. The human race is a disease.
Man, that was one of a good movie of 4.
There was one good movie in there.
You made 25% of a good movie.
So this tells that this is based on...
It's based on an Alan Moore graphic novel, which I have read and have around here somewhere. I'm going to do that Amy Poehler thing where I check my wallet for something.
It's probably in this lamp.
Vase. I just have to break it and it'll pop out. And this is the adaptation is by the Wachowskis of Matrix fame.
Yes.
And
so that's why he's in it.
Yeah, they were like, hey, let's just bring Hugo. Because I think actually he was cast as someone else was playing him and they brought in Hughes to replace him.
Any of the footage since he's wearing a mask most of the time?
I can't speak to that. It does seem like a David Prowse thing. Like, couldn't you just have him voice over the guy?
Maybe it was the body acting that was a problem.
Maybe.
What if it was Eric Stoltz?
He's like, I just can't get a break.
Is this a real thing that happened, right?
What's that?
This is a real thing that happened, right?
No. I mean, Guy Fawkes is a real thing that happened. But this is a or a dystopian England. It's sort of like a commentary on Thatcher's England, at least the original graphic novel. And then this seems more of a Bush treatise.
Okay.
Anti-Bush treatise.
I got you. I don't obviously remember anything about this.
But no one actually blew up Parliament in real life.
Listen, I don't know what they're doing over there.
We also have Stephen Fry in this, which is always a treat for me as a giant gay nerd.
Yeah.
He is the final boss.
Takes one to know one, you know what I'm
saying? You really showed me. Who else is in this? Oh, we got John Hurt. John Hurt.
Okay.
John Hurt. You probably know him from a zillion things, but never decided to put his name to memory.
John Hurt. Stephen Ray. I don't know who that is.
Stephen Ray. He pops up, and if you watch a lot of BBC stuff, he'll be there.
Rupert Graves.
Ooh, cat sound.
Oh yeah, Eddie Marzan.
Who?
I know. I wouldn't have known his name, but he is a person who does.
He certainly is. Rupert Graves was in Maurice with Hugh Grant, and they were gay bones for each other. Cat sound. Wait, who's the other person you mentioned?
Eddie Marzan was in. He's the bad guy in Hancock. He was the police guy in Sherlock Holmes.
He's in At World's End too, right? I think so.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like him.
I feel like he was another bad guy. Maybe I'm thinking of Hancock when he was like a kind of creepy bad guy.
Wasn't he also the bad guy in Hitch?
He was a bad guy in Hitch?
He wasn't, and there isn't. It's a different type of movie altogether.
The bad guy was your lack of self-confidence.
The villain was Kevin James all along.
Well, that's just true. Okay. I'm ready to watch V for Vendetta. Let's do it.
Blammo blammo.
Pow pow. Power wheels.
Scum.
All right, watch along with us.
Although, you know what? We should probably say this for November 5th, right? Guy Fawkes Day.
Yeah, we forgot. The 5th
it's the first thing they told us to do is remember the 5th of November.
Ah, shit.
We're terrible Britons.
Yeah. How would a fascist advertise our Patreon page?
Oh, well, I was going to do something else. I was going to come up with a poem.
Okay, I like that better.
Remember the URL to become a member.
Ooh.
Now, see, you're not actually becoming a member. That's not the vernacular that Patreon uses. But you can become a Patreon. But Patreon, now, and this is important, does not rhyme with remember. So that's why I used member. Although some would argue I'm rhyming with the same syllable, and that doesn't count either.
Patron. No, I can't think of anything that
remember recratron. to become the URL to become a patron. What is that URL, you ask? It's patreon.com/Your
Got it.
Got it right at the end.
I bet Eminem would be able to find a rhyme for Patreon, but I'll tell you what.
Don't have Anderson Cooper ask him what the proper...
We are not Eminem. Another reason to support us, patreon.com/Your
He's gotten better, right?
I don't know.
Guys?
I can't keep track of the celebrities and how okay they are or not.
He hasn't done anything stupid recently.
He roots for the Lions, so.
Okay.
Damon.
Oh.
We watched V for Vendetta 1999.
Oh, right.
Would you please recap this movie for the fine folks?
It's understandable that you would ask me because I brought it.
Because I've forgotten.
To the tableau.
Do you remember in the intro when I thought this was a fictional depiction of real events? I clearly didn't remember what happened in this movie.
I do love when people sometimes will talk about Lord of the Rings and they'll say back then. And I'm like, no. Not back then. There's no time. This is not a time.
Yeah.
I remember people would get like pedantic about Game of Thrones and they're like, well, they wouldn't have had steel swords if they didn't have this tech. I'm like, guys, they have dragons. Shut up.
What's
really next? We're going to complain that a mermaid's black?
If they're in Middle Earth, wouldn't they be burning from the Earth's core?
At least the mantle is also very hot, if you want to consider that the middle.
Think about that.
Your move, Tolkien. So, we're in a alternate universe, presumably, of England, which is short for Anglo-land.
Land of England, Saxons.
We are in a fascist state. I don't know if do they have a name in this?
Everyone.
In the book, they're called the Norse Front. Do they have a name in this? It's not important.
Don't know.
There's a fascist government run by John Hurt, a delightful winking casting. And he is... I'll tell you later. I'll tell you after the show. No need to let the audience know.
Listen, I get it, but I just need you to explain it as if I don't.
And we follow a woman named Evie, and she, while she's out after curfew, she runs into a terrorist, an anti-government terrorist named V, who wears a mask, a stylized mask in the style of Guy Fawkes. And he speaks in a lot of alliteration, at least when we first meet him, a lot of V words. And he saves her from some finger men who were about to do violence of some kind to her. Presumably the sexual kind.
Right.
And then he takes her... No, wait. He lets her go, right? At that time?
Yes.
Anyway, eventually he takes over the TV station of this fascist state and releases... Sorry. Let's go back.
Okay.
I forgot a really important point. He blows up the Old Bailey in London, which is a former, maybe current courthouse. Blows it up and to the tunes of the 1812 Overture. That's a nice little treat. He releases Evie and she goes back to work at a television station where he also takes over a few months later and releases a message to all of England after taking over the airwaves that next November he wants all patriotic countrymen and women to meet at Parliament because he's going to blow it up. This pisses off the fascist government. It's a short walk anyway, but they were mad about it.
Sure.
They try and stop him. Evie is taken down to his lair where he keeps all his stuff Ninja Turtle style in an underground lair.
It's
he has
very
a lot of
reminiscent.
forbidden artwork. Sorry.
It's a good combination of the sewer layer of the Ninja Turtles and the safe of Richie Rich's parents in Richie Rich.
Absolutely. He's got all this contraband artwork there. He watches the Count of Monte Cristo all the time. And
will that be a theme, you think?
Maybe. He loves it. He loves old movies with swashbuckling. He loves to buckle swash. We are friends. Anyway, what else happens? Oh, he starts killing people, killing heads, party leaders.
Yeah.
At first, he kills a very Bill O'Reilly type propagandist who has a nightly talk show where he just sort of yells about how awesome England is. And he kills him. And then he kills... Who's he kill next? Oh, he kills a pedophilic priest that he actually sends Evie to sort of taunt and lure with the promise of underage sex. Kills him. And then we start to find out that these people all might be linked. They worked at a mysterious place called Lark Hill.
Yep.
And then he kills a...
Delia Surridge.
Yeah, Delia Surridge, who was a doctor who also worked at Lark Hill. And we find out that Lark Hill was this place where they were testing a bioweapon that was eventually used on the English people and killed about 100,000 people in England, including at a school. And then it was used as a front to sort of blame immigrants and allow this sort of Christian nationalist fascist government to take over. And V was a patient there, and he was experimented on. And he was the only person who didn't show any adverse effects to the disease. And so now he's sort of getting his personal revenge and then also a very patriotic revenge against the fascist government. Then, Evie, what does she do? She escapes. She meets up with Stephen Fry.
Yep.
And then Stephen Fry gets kidnapped because he's also keeping contraband and is a sexual deviant, aka a homosexual that the fascist governments always seem to not like. Evie thinks she's about to escape, but she gets kidnapped. She's tortured, and the guy who's keeping her wants to know if she can identify where V lives.
Yep.
She never gives him up, but she is tortured for months. There, she reads a story, an account from another prisoner, a lesbian woman who was captured and killed. And then she realizes, it was V who was keeping me and torturing me the whole time. He wanted to free my mind.
So she obviously hates him at that point.
No, she loves him all the more now. Now she's truly free because she has nothing left to fear. He's also encouraged because she never gave him up, even though she had identifying stuff that she could have used or given to help identify where he lives. Then she sort of takes a back seat from the story, and we keep up with the fascist government. They're trying to keep track of trying to find V, and trying to stop him from blowing up Parliament. We follow along with an investigator named Finch, who is the head of the sort of police force in the fascist state. He's investigating. He was at first investigating where V is, and then he starts investigating the Lark Hill controversy.
Investigating the investigators.
Exactly. You got to investigate the investigators.
Yeah.
We also have Creedy, who's the head of the Fingermen. He's kind of like the really violent, gross guy.
Yeah.
V makes a deal with him and says, hey, if you can bring me Adam Sutler, who's the High Chancellor of England, I'll let you live or whatever. And I'll put you in charge. And Creedy, for some reason, falls for that. And he does. On the 4th of November, he brings Sutler. Sutler dies. And then Creedy wants to kill V anyway. And V kills him, not without being horribly wounded. But yada, 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 they blow up Parliament anyway, and all of England comes and looks at it getting blown up.
And V and Evie live happily ever after?
Oh, no, V dies from his wounds, and Evie pulls the lever to send his subway car full of explosives into underneath Parliament and blow it up, much like Guy Fawkes wanted to blow up Parliament. That may have been one of my worst recaps. I don't know why I didn't think I would have to recap the movie that I brought to us.
I don't know. I'm surprised by it every time it happens to me too. Every other episode. I think you thoroughly covered it, and I think we're done here.
All right, let's head out.
Where to start?
Yeah. How do you feel about our main characters, V and Evie?
Well, no, I feel like the fact that in the trivia it mentions how hard and how challenging Natalie Portman worked with a dialect coach, and I feel like that cannot be true.
Cruel.
It's a pretty rough accent. I got over it.
Where would you put it in the other unsteady English accents we've encountered on this show?
Certainly,
we've got Keanu Reeves at the very bottom, at least currently.
Well,
then we have Winona Ryder and Elijah Wood sort of fighting it out from Dracula and Lord of the Rings.
What about Dick Van Dyke? He's at the bottom, right?
Ooh,
below.
Dick
That's
Van
got to go
Dyke.
below.
I would actually put him above Keanu because it's bad. It is bad, but he committed to it.
Yeah.
Keanu doesn't commit, and so
that's true.
It keeps like coming in like the waves upon the shore, and I'm like, what are you doing? Are you from Long Beach or are you from London?
I do agree because people have weird voices and weird accents, right? So it's like this could just be this character's accent.
Just got a speech impediment.
You got to be consistent. And I will say, I think Natalie Portman is fairly consistent with Evie's accent. I would put her above Keanu, above Dick Van Dyke, but below the Elijah Wood. What was the other one on that level? And the Winona.
I would put her slightly above Winona and Elijah. What I think her accent is fine. I think her inflection is not very British. That's,
okay.
I think, what...
Okay, that's what it is. You got it. I was thinking her vocabulary. She didn't use enough slant rhyming for me. Enough...
she didn't say, what's all this then? And
what's all this then?
Where chip, chop, chip.
It's rotten. That's what I should have picked. Was
she didn't call someone an idiot
nightmares.
Sandwich, and that's the most British thing you can do.
But yeah, let's go ahead and start with Evie as a character. I don't really understand her transformation other than Stockholm Syndrome. So she is kind of just not, she's kind of, I don't know, neutral to the current situation. She's just sort of living her life. She's put off by the what is his name, Louis Prothero, the blowhard on TV, but also that doesn't necessarily mean she doesn't like his politics. She's just like, he's an idiot or whatever. And then all she says was, that's quite enough of that. But she did have it on, but it is state TV. So it's like this, kind of a little bit of back and forth. So we don't really get an idea of what her deal is other than she's kind of generally there and kind of unhappy. And then she goes through this stuff. She's saved by V, which is obviously a big turning point for her. Just kind of, oh, there's this hero, kind of. And then he invites her to go watch him blow up a building. And then she's not immediately turned off by that. So I guess she's a little bit of a freak. And then later she's kidnapped by him. Pretty intense situation. This is like, especially after having gone through one near kidnapping when she was a child, at least one that we know of, and then this actual attack that V saved her from, and then another one, and then this one where she thought she was being captured by the government, but it was actually him, and then he releases her, and she's like, now you're not afraid, and she kind of flips a little bit. Although she does leave him. She's like, I'm leaving. And
I think, I think I noticed that. Sorry,
that's it. I think I understand kind of where we're going. It feels very thin to me, the sort of justification of it.
I feel like that might have been, in this viewing, I realized how thin that feels. It felt like they wanted to keep that part of the story, which is in the book.
Right.
But then once it happens and she's released, she kind of takes a back seat. Like I said,
watches
in my summary,
TV on the couch somewhere.
Yeah, we don't know where she goes. She sort of is even more removed than she was before from V's actions and the stuff going on with the government. Now, that might have been a streamlining where they're like, well, now we want to watch. We have to sort of get things going.
We get to the literal fireworks factory.
Exactly. Get to the fall of the government. But yeah, she does take a backseat in her own story, and she just sort of becomes a viewer, even though the movie wants us to believe that now she's truly free. In the book, I think she becomes much more of an ardent V supporter. And I think in the book, V dies much earlier than November 5th. And she literally takes up his mantle, wears the mask and the cape and the hat, and goes about, doing actions as V. So it makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
I felt like they wanted to keep this really shocking moment that he tortures this woman, sort of replicates his own torture onto her. But then it feels like they don't do anything with it. It doesn't really establish any new stakes for Evie, she just sort of goes on with he releases her and she's like, okay. And we don't see her becoming any more radical. She just comes back on the 4th to
makes
visit
out with his mask, and then so I felt like, I mean, I think it's cool that we have, you know, a woman with agency of some sort, but of course she's like,
except she got tortured.
Except she's like 5 times the victim in this movie, so it's hard to be like, yeah, lady power, you know.
You go, girl.
Like, yeah, you go, girl. It's also kind of like, Jesus fucking Christ. And then, yeah, you see her kind of stand up for herself, but then not really. And we also don't, I would love to have seen a little bit more of her sort of the turn to her radicalism, like turning into that, because it just kind of seems she's kind of like, it's kind of shit here. And then, but then we get a little flashback. So obviously she's kind of suppressing some of that emotion. So I think it's there. It's just not really, it's a little bit not in the design of the, it's like, it's in the subtext, I think, more than the text, in a way that's a little bit, I wouldn't say it's too subtle, more than it's just like, you're making me sort of do the work here to like fill in these gaps.
I think they sort of had to budget for time, and it's already like, it's over 2 hour long movie, and they had to decide, well, we really have to get the main story of the government, you know, falling apart. But it sort of does a disservice to this, you know, the second main character. How do you feel about V? Lauren's first note kind of sums it up for me, which was his very first scene where he comes and he's quipping in all V words that start with V for his whole first scene, pretty much. And she says, "This guy's fucking exhausting." And I felt that too. I was like, oh no, is that what this is? Because I didn't remember the movie very well. It was very fucking goofy, and it was very like superhero. But we get more as the movie goes on of kind of his raison d'etre, his vengeance story, plus his sort of anti-government terrorism. I don't like the V alliteration at the beginning, but I will say, I did write in my notes, V is a fucking nerd. So,
yeah.
Like the scene where he is, she wakes up to find him watching the Count of Monte Cristo and sword fighting with a knight's armor that he has in his gallery.
He's a dork. Yeah.
I'm like, you are a fucking nerd.
Yeah.
I found it a little bit charming, but I think, it was this moment like, is this what you do with your time? And you know someone's in the house? Speaking
of time, I have to get to this. This is a little bit later for me, but when he's building a 200,000 domino sculpture that he, you know, and it's obviously an illustration of all the things that he's put into. Yeah, I get it. But still, how much time do you have?
Don't you have somewhere to be, V?
You're executing a very detailed plan that involves sending identical masks that I assume you had to craft in some way, these costumes perfectly tailored to the people wearing them. Yeah, the Amazon, I guess maybe Amazon, future Amazon in this
They probably supported the fascist state.
Yeah. They're like, well, we're going to sell some masks.
We got to sit at his inauguration.
You know, last time we fought him and it didn't go so well. So
he got real pissy about stuff. So we just decided to go along with it. It's also a lot easier because you just sort of pay him stuff. And then he sort of does stuff.
You just tell him he's smart and give him money. And then he lets you do stuff. It's great.
Can you believe it? Yeah, I mean, I do also appreciate the metaphor, but there is part of me in the back of my head. I'm like, hey, don't you got something to do? Is this, I mean, how long does this take? And if you mess up, do you start over again, or do you sort of consider it a wash and move on?
But it did make, I don't know if you noticed, but it made a V. I'm like, yes, with the V, I get it.
I do.
It's for Vendetta and also 5.
True. And for V. Did you notice his name is also V?
Yeah, I did.
I do, though. There are a few moments where he's very straightforward, and I really appreciate that. At one point, she asks him, after having witnessed him kill people, she goes, "Are you going to kill more people?" And he goes, "Yes."
Yeah.
And then later on, when she's sending the bomb to Parliament, Finch has sort of Finchy. He's stopped her and he's like, get your hand off that lever. And she just turns and goes, no, which I like. She doesn't like have a big monologue. She's like, no, I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Finchy, he's got a good rep.
It is interesting to think about that, and his entrance kind of, it would be a demonstration of this, that he's just kind of a dork alone in his basement that's been plotting this thing. And it's like both kind of charming and also like, oh, Columbine, you know what I mean? Like, it's like a little bit of both, where this like guy who's been sort of outcast by society, and in V's case, for many reasons, like he was horribly burned. He has like he covers himself both to protect his identity, but also because he's horribly burned all over his body from the time he burned down the building that he was captured in to escape. And am I to assume that this testing gave him some sort of superhuman abilities? I read that and I read that into it, and I don't know if that's just something I decided because it made more sense for his like ability to whip ass.
I don't think so. I mean, okay. I think he just escaped. I think he already had maybe a
creature natural like skill set or something.
He has a resistance to this disease.
Yeah.
And so they were fascinated by him for being able to resist it. But no, I don't think there's any sort of super heroic stuff. His superpower is being fucking mad.
Yeah.
Which I like. I like an angry character. Yeah, I think in the book he's a little bit more ruthless. I can't remember if he actually sword fights with a character, but he's pretty ruthless in this. But I think the fact that he tortures a character is not out of line.
When he's also more of an anarchist in the novel.
Yeah,
right?
I think the anarchy, that's one of Alan Moore's complaints about this adaptation, although you'll find Alan Moore complaining about every adaptation of his work.
I feel like maybe he's a little bit of a crank.
And correctly, he does not like the fact that the fascism is sort of pared down. He has a lot of, in the graphic novel, he has a lot of scenes where you follow the High Chancellor and you're keeping up with him, and he's narrating his own story in between chapters about V. And so there is a little bit more nuance on the fascism side, or at least seeing their perspective.
Yeah.
And the anarchy in the book is much more explicit. I think there are hints here and there, but it doesn't feel like he actually wants anarchy. I think the illusions of like, people shouldn't be afraid of their governments should be afraid of their people, I think implies like I still think there should be a government. I just think
like a democratic kind of theme or whatever,
elected thing. And that's Alan Moore's complaint is like, this was a very specific British story about Thatcherism that became an American story about the traditional conservative liberal lines that Americans are used to. And I think that's a fair complaint, adaptation wise.
Yeah.
But I will say as an American watching it, under Bush at the time and Trump now, I find it very cathartic to watch.
Yeah, just sort of like the sort of also just the fascistic nature of it, but also the bad graphic design in the fascism, which is rampant in our current administration.
What graphic design did you hate?
Just when they're doing the state TV stuff. Mm-hmm. And it was just all very
Prothero's face just being like the entire screen. Like even Bill O'Reilly a big-headed Bill O'Reilly isn't taking up the entire screen. Just his T-zone is what's visible. Like, back away. Like, he has a backdrop of like Big Ben behind him, and I'm like, you can barely see it. Why even have a backdrop?
Yeah, that's one of the things that I didn't predict about living under fascism is how weird everything is. How
really? I do like, as ludicrous as it is, I do like the image of just, it feels like Prothero is like, your drunk uncle screaming at you and just in your face at Thanksgiving.
I also like,
Christmas, Boxing Day, whatever you guys got.
Whatever the fuck. I also see a lot of my, I don't get to see, when we see Prothero's murder scene when he's in the like in a robe, or not a robe, like a towel. He's showering, and I don't get to see my body type represented on camera that often, and representation matters. I just want to see
body positivity,
sort of a sluggish white man, pasty, and and
just a tube of a man.
I see you, okay.
And you also, when you take a shower, you vomit up red and green and white. Did you catch the vomits?
Yeah. Is that not what you do?
Oh, no, I vomit an orangish brown like a true American.
You want to talk about Stephen Fry and Dietrich?
Stephen Fry, a man after my own heart.
He's gay,
love that he's in this. I did not tell Tyler that he was in this. I was like, there's going to be a little surprise in this.
A little cheeky surprise.
And Stephen Fry plays what is his name? Dietrich?
It's
Gordon Dietrich?
Dietrich or Dietrich? DEI.
Yeah, Dietrich.
TRI. Yeah.
Stay the course, Big Nettie.
Dietrich.
He plays a TV host that works in the same building as Prothero. And is
like
a
comedy late
Evie.
Night. Yeah. Like a late night talk show host.
Like a chat show host, as they call him over there.
Chat show.
And eventually Evie, meets up with him, like I said, and finds out that he has his own sort of night gallery inside his house behind a bookcase where he has copies of the Koran. He had some Robert Mapplethorpe photos. Talks about how he's gay and has to sort of keep it under wraps. But he's sort of inspired by Evie and hosts on one of his late night shows. He has an Adam Sutler impersonator on and has like a V impersonator on. They have a Benny Hill like slapstick moment to the tunes of Yakety Sax, yes. And then he is kidnapped by the state after that. And Creedy, the guy who runs the sort of police state, is like, not so funny now, is it? And his kidnapping mimics the flashback we see of Evie's parents being kidnapped. But I love Stephen Fry. I love when he pops up in things, and I think he's a perfect role for this. What do you think of Stephen Fry?
Yeah, he doesn't
loving him as much as you do.
Yeah. I'm like, I would say I'm like mildly positive on Stephen Fry. I don't have like a cultural relationship with him, but I am like, I find him affable, and I'm generally in favor of his presence. He seems intelligent, but I don't celebrate a lot of his collections. I don't really have strong feelings, but I thought he was good in this. I think he doesn't have a ton to do. He's just kind of like the gay best friend a little bit. At one point, because Evie was supposed to go on a date with him. Did you mention that? I don't know if you already mentioned that.
He sort of says that.
Who set this up?
He entertains girls at his house. He has them over for dinner. Nothing happens, but he's like, I have to sort of maintain this illusion that I am an entertaining, I'm sort of a womanizer, a ladies' man. And so, he has women come over to his house to entertain them.
Yeah.
And then send them on their way, presumably.
But then he literally just entertains them. He like juggles and
right, exactly. Tells them about stories about Oscar Wilde, as only Stephen Fry can tell you.
I thought it was interesting that we hit on the sort of oppression of homosexuality a few times, including with his character and with Valerie, the prisoner with the letters. But we don't really touch on any kind of other oppression, which, we don't talk about immigrants, or we don't talk about race relations really at all. It's kind of like implied. There's like,
yeah, it is implied. But I think it's more explicit in the book that immigrants are persecuted and minorities are racial minorities are persecuted, as well as, sexual minorities.
Well, it's like, on one hand, it's like not everything has to be about everything, but like at the same time, it's like this is what they chose, and I find it interesting, just like not in any like literally just interesting. I'm not trying to like bait the movie or anything.
I think that's interesting.
I think that's interesting. What do you think about that?
That's almost like when I get an email from a client and they're like, I'm just confused. I'm like, okay.
Okay. What do you want?
Where this is going.
Yeah. So did you have a connection to that as a game?
I remember at the time being very touched by Valerie's story in 2006. Is this 2006?
This is 1990. No, 2005. Sorry.
This is 1990.
1995, I was going to say, which is not accurate.
This is like the Fantastic Four movie they made just to keep the rights. You watched the 1990 version of it?
Oh my God. Stephen Fry's in that too.
I just like the story. Yeah, I found her story very touching. I think
her story. Sorry.
I think Dietrich's story is not in the book. I think his characters is sort of made up for the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love Valerie's story. I love how it's the story that really radicalizes Natalie Evie.
Yeah.
And it's well done, and you really get to know her. And I love that you get these shots of Lark Hill throughout the movie, and then you realize, oh, that woman that was in all those shots is Valerie. That's who we're talking about.
Right.
And we also find out that Evie, after she finds out it was V torturing her, this is really hard to actually say aloud.
Yeah. Valerie, Evie, V.
So many fucking V's. When she finds out it was V torturing her, she's like, well, I guess I'll give you this back since you made this up too. And she hands him like the toilet paper roll that it was Valerie's story was written on. He's like, no, this is exactly what I found. This is the same thing. And you found it much in the way it was delivered to me. So Valerie was a real person that was housed next to V at Lark Hill. But yeah, in 2006, it really hit hard, as the Bush administration was trying to push for a constitutional amendment to ban gay marriages at the federal level. And honestly, I mean, knowing that the Wachowskis later came out as trans, both of them, seeing like queer representation in a movie like this is touching. I do want to say the Wachowskis wrote this. I think in the intro I said they directed it, but they wrote it. It was directed by James McTeague. I just want to be clear about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, seeing queer representation in like a big blockbuster movie, not to mention seeing a movie in 2006 where the main character is a fucking terrorist against the state.
Yeah.
Is also
and you're kind of rooting for him. Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, yeah, blow up the government building, you son of a bitch.
That's why they kept it Parliament.
It is kind of amazing that this movie made it to theaters. Alan Moore's complaints aside.
Yeah.
I will say one of the other things that I like about this movie, I was just reminded because the Valerie, seeing shots of Valerie before you know who Valerie is, there's a really interesting technique they do in this. It reminded me of, do you know the British show Gogglebox? It's sort of just like a reaction show.
You just made that up.
It's real. It's real. Where it's like just normal British people on their couches watching like events from the week, like watching TV from the week and reacting to it.
Okay.
And it's a huge honor to be on Gogglebox.
Okay.
But it's mimicked sort of in this movie, in that there are select places in Britain that we sort of react to the events on TV. There's like a pub, there's a retirement home, there's sort of an upper middle class family, and then there's a lower middle class family with the cute bespectacled girl. And we sort of see them. She'll like when fine, V takes over.
She's fine as the movie goes on.
Yeah, dude, she's okay. Don't worry about it.
She's not murdered by the. Okay.
We see them like initially when V takes over the television station, but then we sort of like periodically we'll see the news reports, and they'll be the ones watching it. And what's really clever about that is that at the climax of the movie, when everyone's wearing these Guy Fawkes masks and showing up at Parliament. Sorry, I just ate. When they take off their masks, instead of just being random strangers, it's these people we've sort of been following throughout the entire movie. It's a very clever conceit. And then it like sort of evolves and we see characters we know have died, including Stephen Fry and Valerie, and then
the little girl,
the bespectacled little girl. How'd you feel when the Four Eyes got shot?
I think that was very affecting. And also very like, this movie is not hyper realistic. And so like that was a real feeling moment in this, like where the kind of violence is pretty stylized. And yeah, it was like slow-mo and like made for a moment. So it was still like very, but it was, and you could see why that was a trigger point, a powder keg moment in the revolution, because that the people
don't say powder
attacked
keg around Guy Fawkes.
I tripped and got arrested instead. Oops. But yeah, I think that was, I wouldn't say I liked it, but it was a very affecting moment.
No, it is very affecting. And then there is like part of me, instead of seeing, V come out, you sort of see like the sort of dominoes that he set up start to fall. And like
That's
you see like the townspeople come out and beat the fuck out of that Fingerman.
Yeah.
Fingerman.
Stop saying everything that you're saying right now.
And I like it.
Yeah. It was pretty good. And I will say that was kind of the moment, and I can get into more detail in my verdict, but that was one of the moments that sort of pulled me to be like, all right, movie. Because it didn't have me as gripped as earlier in the movie. There's not really other character. I mean, we can talk about Sutler a little bit, like as a big bad. I guess Sutler and Creedy are kind of the twin big bads.
Yeah.
I thought they were. Tell me about the John Hurt of it all. Go for it.
So John Hurt was in 1984. He was the main character.
I know.
You're so mad or pleased. I can't tell. Is there a version of pleased where you're also still mad?
Yes, it's the only one I have.
I'm as pleased as punch, burning, boiling.
Punch you in the face.
Yeah, he played Winston in the 80s version of 1984 version of 1984.
Oh, and so he's always been in love with Big Brother? Was that?
Uh-huh. And 2 + 2 = 5.
Okay. Okay, so that's cool. So he got to do a little switcheroo.
He got to be Big Brother this time. He's like, let me play Big Brother.
He was a little like the portrayal, which this is not an acting dig, more as like a choice of the movie dig, that like it's very over the top. It's very like,
oh yeah,
he's cartoonishly evil.
I don't know if you've ever experienced fascism in your daily life. But a giant-headed person screaming at you is pretty common, I find.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's more cartoonish than I would have thought.
Mm-hmm. Like in 2006, like, okay, guys.
Oh,
and now
everyone.
I'm like, spot on, guys.
Because then it was just a guy being like, I don't know, I like fishing. And we were all like, this fucking guy, are you fucking serious?
No, trust me, even though he's folksy, he can still be a fascist. Yeah. A folksy fascist.
Folksist. Band name called it. Okay, so yeah, so I mean, he doesn't get a ton to do. He gets to do a bit of groveling.
We never see him. Well, we see him only in real person at the end when Creedy has brought him out.
Although he does play the fake version. He does
play his own impersonator, which I also love the styling choices where he sort of has like pancake makeup on, and because John Hurt looks like he has smoked since birth.
Yes.
It's very pancaked on, and then they've dyed his hair like jet black, so he just looks, something's off about him, even though John Hurt's playing him, which I thought was a clever way of doing that. And we see his arm. There are a lot of very comic booky shots in this, which is, complimentary, where he's watching that same show that with the impersonator on. He's drinking his glass of milk, and he smashes it in his hand. We just see his arm like not Dr. Evil. Who is the guy in Inspector Gadget?
Shoot. Oh, again, can I think of it right now? I'm going to figure it out. Yeah.
Is the organization. Is he Dr. Claw?
Dr. Claw, that's what it is, yeah.
I'll get you, Gadget.
Next time, Gadget.
Next time.
Wow. That show probably sucks, but it's still embedded in my brain for the rest of my life.
We should form some sort of podcast where we watch things like that.
But I mean, it is over the top. And there's also something weird about his eyes. Do you think they dilated his eyes on purpose?
Yes. So there was a story in...
Did you read the trivia?
I did. And there was a story that there was going to be, I think, at least some more explicit nod to his drug use, because that was like that is
Hitler
a theme
thing.
in the... Yeah.
He's also in love with his computer in the graphic novel. Some things are best cut out.
Yeah, it was like this magical AI or something. I didn't read it, but I read about it.
Hacked into his computer and is making him fall in love with his own AI.
Wow. Prescient.
Well, I mean, actually, you know what, Alan Moore? Fuck you. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, imagine if there was this like also tech dweeb involved in like some sort of techno-fascist thing. That would never happen.
Amazing. So they dilated his eyes so he looked a little bit more out there.
Yeah, that's again the sort of the story. I don't know
cool.
how like
I'll allow it. Going back to the Gogglebox people, one of my favorite shots in this that I really appreciated now living in my current political age was the shot of Sutler on the 4th of November. He like addresses the entire nation to tell them why they need us. And he addresses the nation like in a pre-recorded message. And we cut to like shots of all the houses where the people live that we've been watching TV through. And no one is there. And no one is watching his speech. It's one of my favorite moments. It's just like, hey, what if we just don't watch his speeches? What if we just don't engage with this attention-seeking jackass? I'm talking about the movie right now, dude.
Right, obviously. It reminds me a lot of Good Will Hunting. Like, that one day I'm going to come in and you won't be there watching my speeches.
Yeah, one day something will happen, ... Step 1, you'll be there. Step 2, ? Step 3, you won't be there.
Now, how did this movie affect your relationship with Toads in a Hole? I want to get to that.
Oh my God.
They look delicious.
Eggy in a basket.
Yeah.
Yes. I was just, Tyler, I had kept the Stephen Fry thing from him, but the minute that she wakes up in V's lair, I was like, ooh, there's also someone else in here from Moonstruck that I forgot to tell you about. And he's like, from Moonstruck? And I'm like, eggs in a basket are here. Because Olympiodococcus makes them in that movie too. Have you ever had them?
Yes, of course.
I love them.
Delicious.
Tyler always talks about how he loves seeing them in movies, but he doesn't like dippy eggs, so he never can have them.
It's a very fine line for me. Like when they're too runny, it gets like, okay, now it's just raw. That's gross. And it's
like the whites are runny, or you mean even the yolk is runny?
No. Like if the yolk is too runny, it's too gross.
I want the whites perfectly set.
Yeah.
And I want the yolk still runny. If the yolk dips over into a pasty consistency, Damon's out. I don't want that.
I just want it's a hard, it's hard to get this achieved perfectly because it is. I will probably go over before I go under because at least I'll survive.
I got you. I will go under before I go over because what am I living for?
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I was going to compliment at one point her wound. So at some point she gets by a security guard, she gets whacked on the forehead with the butt of a rifle. Evie does. Yeah. And she has a bump like kind of for a while, like you would as a human being. But then I realized it was just so they could have it be a V. And I was like, oh no.
Oh no, I didn't even I remember seeing her wound, but I did not catch it. She's like Harry Potter.
Yeah. So it was like, oh, it's finally, a little bit of realism showing this has some sort of stakes. And then it was like, oh no, it's a V for Vendetta or
for Vendetta, the titular Vendetta.
How do you feel about that? Like as a motivating factor, it's very Count of Monte Cristo, like both intentionally and like the theme of the movie. Like it's I've
actually never read Count of Monte Cristo.
Have you not?
In fact, I keep wanting to call it Count of Monte Cristo.
Well, that's just delicious.
Because I've never even read the title. That's how little I've read of it.
I can't get through it. I get bored.
Sorry, Count of Monte. Just tell me what it is.
Right towards the end, I get bored. Literally the last syllable, I can't get through it.
Oh, this just keeps going. Just call it Monte Cristo. Don't have to count.
I don't want to do all that. Now, listen, this is going to be a little bit of a controversial take, and I'm glad we buried it this far into the episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so because this is the part that would go viral.
Yeah. Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas.
Uh-huh.
It's a pretty good book.
Okay, thank you. Hot take alert. Stitch incoming.
This classic of literature history is good.
Survived for a reason. I stayed, and I haven't read the book, but I have stayed at the Hotel Dumont in Paris that had portraits of Alexandre Dumas.
Yeah.
One of our classical Black authors.
Was he Black?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Fucking down with it.
I mean, I'm fine with it.
Obviously, I said deal with it.
Obviously, I'm cool. Okay. No,
Obviously. I think we both have the energy of coolness. Now, we were talking about this graphic novel adaptation.
I read Count of Monte Cristo in school, and I remember being like, okay, this is pretty good. And then I read it again, I think several times since then. Like it's one of those that I come back to every once in a while. I haven't read it in a long time, so maybe it's not as cool. You know, maybe we should revisit it for the podcast.
Maybe it's lame. Is he rebelling against his government? All I saw in this movie was, get your own tree.
It's more of the main, the sort of revenge story. So he's sent to prison and he breaks out and he basically seeks revenge on everyone.
Okay.
So, and I think this is kind of similar in this.
The vegetable shortening?
It just so happens that everyone he wants to seek revenge on is in the government. It doesn't seem like he cares that much about that. He wants just more. I'm talking about in this movie. He seems more just to want the revenge, and fair enough, right? Given what he went through.
I'd be pissed too.
What do you think about that whole story? The Lark Hill, the chemical warfare thing.
I will say, I mean, every time I watch it, I feel like I get a little bit better of a grasp on it.
Yeah.
But I am hazy on it. I think I got the large brush strokes.
They explained it twice, Damon, and you still didn't get it? The second time I was like, we already heard this explanation.
It's for me. They did focus testing and no, the bespectacled gay guy doesn't get it yet. Should we do a third?
Do you want to do it again? No.
Maybe I just sort of...
They used it as I saw it, at least in the movie. I obviously haven't read the graphic novel. They did it like a Reichstag fire moment. It's like a reason for them to take over. Basically, there was this disease that took over, and of course they had to do all these things.
Well, the St. Mary's part is the Reichstag moment, I would say, right?
Yeah, well, and Lark Hill is them developing that bioweapon.
Sorry, yes.
So it was a part of the same story of they put these poor people that they experimented on, and they saw how it affected them, and basically incubated this bioweapon for later use and
found the cure, which also seems prescient in that they had this disease, maybe not prescient, but it did remind me. No, this is going to make me sound like a conspiracy theorist. It doesn't remind me of COVID. I don't think they sold us the cure. But this idea of having a problem and then all of a sudden you have the solution,
right?
Maybe had remnants of the conspiracies around COVID.
Right. Which, I mean, this is not...
all this out. I sounded sane.
Well, it's not something that is completely unfounded in the history of humankind either. So it's yeah.
And everyone works for pharmaceutical companies as well. Prothero and a few other people, they find they made bukus of cash. Bukus. They made
French.
bukus of cash from this drug.
France.
Which also is a thing. I mean, I am currently represented by a senator who makes money from a company that sells fentanyl.
It's fine. What has that ever done? You know?
You're absolutely right. Go get him, Marcia. My soon-to-be governor, no doubt.
Do you have any feelings about how weird it is to kiss the mask?
I don't know. I feel like they shot it well enough that I allowed it. But when I think about it, it's a stiff mask.
Yeah.
Possibly even bulletproof mask.
Yeah.
Fine. But it doesn't have a good mouth opening, so you're not going to be getting any tongue in there.
No tongue.
No deep kissing, as they call it in my church. So that's lame.
Side hugs and deep kissing.
Are we making out? Should I bring a book? I like it better than when people have to kiss people with prosthesis in movies, because I always think of the smell of spirit gum and rubber.
So hot.
I've made out with a few guys who wear makeup, and I'm like, I don't like this smell either.
Okay.
Pancake makeup. At least wear enough cologne that it
pancake
wafts up and distracts me.
I felt
if you want to wear makeup, wear makeup. I'm just saying I don't like the smell of makeup.
Just don't try to kiss me with it. You know?
Maybe try to kiss me with it.
Yeah, I don't want to rule out everyone. If you want to wear a mask, let's talk about it.
What did you
found
feel about the mask? Is
Well,
I guess
it's not
what
so
I'm
much
asking.
the kiss.
suddenly.
I mean, kissing the mask is weird, but it's the sort of the fact that it was romantic was kind of, I don't know, a little bit more of a bummer for me because it was like, I don't know. It's I guess that's like that is it is kind of a love story.
Literally.
No, I did mean it literally, but I'm also like, I think that's more my problem with it is kind of like still the like, not only should you not, basically Natalie Portman should be with me. That's the real problem.
Well,
No.
I sent her a letter. It was mostly cut out of
Lauren agrees.
magazines because I was scared my penmanship wasn't good. So I sent her a letter from you cut out of magazines. And let me tell you, it's hard to find magazines these days.
It is. I had to go through my stash that I keep in the basement. That's normal, right?
I'm just thinking about the fact that I do have a stash of magazines in the basement.
Well, they used to
Your
send
Honor.
the Newsweeks every week. They really pile up.
Yeah, I don't buy their romance, and I don't even know if that's what was intended by romance. It's certainly shot like it's a romantic kiss.
Yeah.
But I
He
could have
says,
done
I
without
love
it.
you. I fell in love with you.
I guess
It's pretty
so.
explicit, I feel like. But it's like, is that
It
what
is
this
a cute
was?
mask.
Is it?
And not everyone can pull
What about
off
the
those,
wig,
those
though?
micro bangs.
I don't care for that. I don't care for that in people, and I don't care for it in wigs worn by my rebel fascists.
My saviors.
Rebel, I said.
My eco-terrorist saviors.
Look, would you like to go to the verdict?
I'm trying to think if there's anything. We haven't really talked about Stephen Ray at all, who plays Finch. Bloody Good Rat.
He doesn't really, like, character-wise, like, what is there to talk about? He does
talking like this, sort
Yeah,
of staring off into the middle distance. I
Yeah.
had to see it for myself.
Yeah.
In the book, he goes to Lark Hill and does LSD
Okay.
to learn what it's like there. Cool it,
Okay.
guys.
Okay, Alan. All right. I'm open to a discussion. I just don't really have anything to say
Yeah, I
about
mean,
it.
I like him as I like him in the movie. Fine. I also like his partner. What's his partner's name?
Dominic? Is that Rupert Graves?
Rupert Graves.
There's a lot of just like white dudes that are like around that I'm like, hey, I kind of recognize that
Rupert
guy.
Graves is so handsome, and he's in his Silver Fox era now. He was also in Sherlock as Inspector Lestrade.
Yeah.
He was also in seminal gay romantic movie from the 90s, Maurice, where he falls in love, I believe, with Hugh Grant. So show some goddamn respect.
There was Ben Miles, whose character is Dascom. I don't know what he is in the organization.
He's the head of the propaganda arm of the in the book. They all have names, and I'm kind of glad they cut them out because they're all the council itself with Sutler is the head, and then there's the nose, which is Finch is the nose, and then there's the mouth, which is Dascom in this, and then they all have like sensory titles. I'm like,
the thing.
I mean, fascism is dumb, but I don't think they would come up with like Operation Epic Fury. They wouldn't go with like, and you're the mouth.
I don't know. It's pretty stupid.
It is pretty stupid. You're right, Teach.
But Dascom, played by Ben Miles, was also in Andor recently, which what's that guy? Why do I know that guy? What is the
He
guy?
has a face that I'm like, who's that guy?
Who's the guy?
Why'd they kill that guy?
When we talked about Eddie Marsan, who's another that guy. He was the bad guy in, he was in Sherlock Holmes as well. He's
Eddie, who is it?
Marsan. I don't know how I'm saying his name. Marsan.
James Marsden.
Yeah, that's what it is. Cyclops.
Oh yes, he's in At World's End.
He's in Sherlock Holmes. He's the inspector in the TV show Sherlock Holmes, or no, the movies Sherlock Holmes. So we got two.
Two Lestrades in this.
Yeah,
amazing.
Wow.
How do you feel about Tim Pigott Smith, who plays Creedy?
Oh
Mr. Creedy.
I thought he was an interesting, like, sort of second big bad. One that would just seem like somehow even more evil. Like he seemed like the more like sadistic.
Yeah. Like that probably chosen for his sadism to lead the Fingermen. Yeah, he is kind of like scary. And he's also like, at least the way he's shot in this movie, he is creepy. The shots of the council are very interesting in that you have this huge screen with Sutler facing these 5 people, and they're all in complete blackness. And the first time you meet them, they sort of like dip into the light, like from the shadows. They sort of lean forward in their chairs and dip into the light. I will say, I do love the way this movie is shot. And for all my forgetfulness about the plot and stuff, I like it's shot in a way and everyone feels like they're all committed to it that I buy in. Like I'm all in by the end of the movie.
Yeah, it's more Dick Tracy than I thought. That kind of comic book, like they like lean into the sort of, I don't know, retro cheese factor a little bit. And I think that was, off-putting to me at first. But I think I
like
was
the way
on
it's
board.
shot, or just all of it all together.
All of it all together, but the way it was shot, I think leans into that, where they're kind of making it, you know, like you said,
foreground, like hands in the foreground and people in the foreground and people in the background that are both in frame. It's very like in focus.
I don't know by the frames themselves, but it seems like they are replicating frames from the graphic novel here and there.
If not, they feel very comic booky.
Yeah. If I say graphic novel one more time, you can punch me in the face next time you see me.
I look forward to it.
Let's go to the verdict. Come on, let's get it. Take the train. Hey, try to stop me.
Get your hand off that lever.
No. Now we're on the verdict.
You did a good English accent.
No.
We'll show this then.
All right, I'm going first. I think I pretty much just verdicted up, gave away some of it. I was a little taken aback by how kind of corny this was at first. It kind of leaned into the comic bookness of it in a way that didn't buy at first, but by the third act, it got me. So I was back on board, and I knew I had liked it previously when I saw it. So I was like kind of expecting it. I think I was expecting how I felt at the end of the movie, at the beginning of the movie. So I was a little bit shocked by that because it's a little lighter, and a little goofier. And like he's goofier, V is goofy, and when he first comes in, and you can also see, like, I don't know how much of this is subtext or that I'm bringing to it, but you know, our little headcanon of like him just sort of practicing his lines alone, you know, in his sewer lair, and then he comes and he finally gets a chance to rescue some fair maiden, and he gets to like do his V speech.
He's got his thesaurus,
and he nails it. V. I'll tell you, he doesn't miss a single V.
Absolutely.
And then she's like, "Okay," and then he's like, "Do you want to go?"
I do like that everyone's kind of like, "What?"
Yeah. And you know, you could see some dork doing that, but then it does get kind of more. I buy it more as it goes along, and eventually, I mean, I think Natalie Portman is good in this. I think she's aside from the accent, which I didn't buy that much. I wish she had more to do. I wish we saw more depth from Evie, but I don't think that's her fault. I think she did a decent job with it, and she's adorable. And
she kept the crew cut. I was like, it's been months and you still got the crew cut. Even the book of Evie, like her hair starts to grow out again.
She's going for it. I
kind of like it.
You can kind of tell.
Out of the shower, I'm done.
It feels like it's only Hugo Weaving's voice, and I think it is for most of the movie.
I am always curious about that. Are you able to confirm that?
Well, one of the stories written, I don't know, like confirm is soft. I'll use that only lightly, but it sounded like there was another person who was going to play, and then
I've heard that,
dubbed, and then so in some of the shots it really isn't him, and then some it is, but then he dubbed because he's wearing this mask, and they tried different ways to mic it, and he ended up overdubbing all this, which is just like how movies work anyway, but or used to, I guess. And then I think there's like, I would think this is faint criticism, but it's a little disconnecting because he's just wearing
kind of like Darth Vader, not as bad as Darth Vader in the first Star Wars, where he's like pointing and it doesn't match the beat of James Earl Jones' voice.
But there's a little bit like, I don't know, but I also can't see your mouth, so there's no way for me to know if this is how it would sound. But
I'm always a little curious, like how involved was Hugo Weaving?
Right.
Did he like train to do all these sword fights and stuff?
Yeah.
Or was that some other guy? And I guess that's the beauty of having a character like V, who's always bemasked.
We do see him at one point with Hugo Weaving in his
he
beard.
shows up
Yeah.
in a costume that looks surprisingly like Hugo Weaving.
Yeah. I was like, well, that's just Hugo Weaving there.
And he's like, I just want sunglasses one day.
Please. Your inner child is not an idiot. I think it's maybe less impactful than I remembered. I don't know if I would describe it as fucking awesome. I would describe it as, I don't know, if fucking awesome is 10, I'd put it at a 6.5. But I did enjoy it, and I thought the story was good. What did you think, David?
I think this movie is fucking awesome. I don't know if the story holds up necessarily. I think, just like you were saying, I don't think that necessarily Natalie Portman has little to do, but I do think by the third act, she gets put in the back seat for a while.
Yeah,
and she's just sort of looking at stuff.
Yeah.
Either on TV or seeing people graffito tag stuff on the street. And it's like, okay, this act, I'll be looking at things.
Again?
But I do appreciate it. I agree with you that V is kind of nerdy. And I feel like in the book, he's a little less nerdy. And I think when he starts torturing Evie, or it's revealed that he tortured Evie, that's where book V and the movie V sort of clash together. But overall, I really like this movie. I think it's very effective. I think it's shot in a fun way that I appreciate it, in that, at least for me, it was comic booky without being kind of like Dick Tracy, where it's, I get it, Dick. Or even worse, Ang Lee's Hulk, where it's like, I know it's a comic. You can stop reminding me.
Stop doing your
the
page
weird
wipes.
Outlines. Yeah, and the weird and the panel shots.
Yeah.
Dang, cool it.
Dang.
And there's no gay cowboys in this.
Yeah. I know what I signed up for, and it wasn't this, okay?
But yeah, I found it very cathartic in our current age. I think there are parts, like we said, that are surprisingly prescient.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that Alan Moore feels like it got defanged, and the anarchism versus fascism is sort of sanded down, and I would agree that is the case. As an American, I do connect with this movie a lot. And I really enjoyed it. I will say, I mean, in terms of plot, there was a moment where Tyler paused it to ask me a question about the plot, and I was like, I want to say I held it together. I was able to come through with a coherent sentence, but it was definitely me laying track for the train as it was going. I was like,
hey,
do
kid,
I
it
know
ain't that
what's
kind of
going
movie
on right this second? It was when Hugo Weaving shows up as Rookwood, and he's like, now wait, who was that? I'm like, okay, so there was this guy early on in the fascist state who disappeared, and he's pretending to be that guy, but he's not that guy. It's V pretending to be that guy, but that guy's long since dead, and now Finch is mad because he realized that was V the whole time.
Yeah.
And I was like, don't ask any follow-up questions.
Do I get a shock, or did I get it right?
But yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. I don't know if it's perfect. It may not be fucking awesome, as some idiot said once, but I don't think your inner child's an idiot. I would recommend it. It's a fun movie. I think Wachowskis do a good job, and it's still, again, I am amazed that this is a movie that saw a wide release in the middle of the Bush administration. That's insane.
So, like, I know that you're sort of just, like, not into the whole fascism thing, but I'm just saying, like, just give it a try, you know?
I do look good in black and red. So,
I mean, it is very slimming. I'll give you that.
And the only way to wear those things is to become an out-and-out fascist.
What do you think, everybody? Email us, yourinnerchildisandidiot@gmail.com. You can text us or leave us a voicemail, 615-576-0525. If you want to support our show, you can go to patreon.com/yourinnerchildisandidiot. We want to thank our current patrons in our worst English accents. Thank you to Lindsay, Halik.
Tommy Boy's my favourite movie.
The Elusive fan Gromkin.
Jamie Fallon.
You're doing a variety of... What's all this then? It's the Zesty.
All right, Zachary, Hartley.
T. Smith.
The supreme ruler of this podcast.
Caroline Amberson.
Josh Frigo.
Karen Curd.
Stu-StusStuartJ.
Jackson as a spit for Damon.
Oh, yes, well, Dr. Malcolm's heaving bosom, yeah?
Jeppy von Cheaterly.
Jonathon Day.
dramatically placed hot dog. Sorry, dramatically placed hot dog. There we go.
Our art holiday classic. No, wait, went
Nope,
Australian
nope.
on that one. My apologies. Holiday classic. Jingle all the way.
Bethsamont.
The ends of fate.
Larissa Maestro.
Parklemem.
Little Miss Chicken Nugget.
Travis Vance.
Captain Jean-Luc Picard.
Shit on the cartouche.
They call it poo on the cartouche over here.
They do. I'm going to have a poo on the cartouche.
Lindsay Nell.
Bill Haynes.
It had the cadence of a joke.
Hizoner the mayor.
Thank you all very much. If you want to support the show, go to patreon.com/child's-an-idiot and give him a little bit of how's your father.
Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. I think we got the accents pretty good.
Yeah, those
if
were
I have
great.
one piece of criticism, I don't think we got the inflections right.
That, my friend, is a callback.